And welcome to another filming of Captain's Call. I'm Captain John Bushy.
I'm Command Master Chief Michael Wilkins.
And today we have a special guest star from VAW 115.
Captain?
Skipper?
How are you, sir?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Commander David Wadlick. I'm the CO of VAW 115 Liberty Bells here in Naval Air Station at Tsugi.
Outstanding. So, just to help everybody out with their recce.
Yes, sir.
So what do the Liberty Bells fly?
The Liberty Bells fly the E-2C Hawkeye, which is the turboprop, funny-looking aircraft with a big dish on top.
Awesome. Okay. Well, just to help everybody with their recce, because I know that there's some people out there that's an FA what? And so that just helps everybody with what we're looking at, because obviously everybody can identify the helicopters, because that's the easy part. But being a helicopter guy, I got to say that. So what's the mission of the Liberty Bells?
So the mission, I think to understand the mission of the Liberty Bells, you got to maybe understand what the role of an E-2C Hawkeye is. So the primary mission of an E-2C Hawkeye is command and control. Command and control, I think there's some folks within military circles that understand exactly what that is, which is the ability to command, which is tell other assets exactly what it is that you want them to do, and control and be able to put them in places where they need to be to advantageously use whatever systems or capabilities that they've got. So that's the E-2C Hawkeye. To kind of put that in layman's terms, for those that are sports fans, I like to use a football analogy.
Oh, football.
And football. And so
I can't wait till it's here.
what we like to do is, if we consider that the strike group is the offensive team on a football field, you've got your quarterback, you've got your wide receivers, you've got your linemen, you've got your running backs. Everyone's trying to score a touchdown. For all of that to work, you need a head coach and you need an offensive coordinator. And we like to see ourselves as the offensive coordinator, which is the ones who are directing the offense and telling the different aircraft where they need to be to make sure that they're successful on the field.
Okay. So flying your airplane,
Yes, sir.
you have different crew members.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk about what they do in the airplane?
Sure. Well, we've got 5 crewmen that are in each Hawkeye, 2 pilots that sit up front. Front left seat is the primary pilot. He's the one in control of the safety of flight of the aircraft. The right seat is in charge of the navigation and also partakes in the mission, typically monitoring different radios. And then we've got 3 naval flight officers in the back. There's a radar operator who is in charge of running the weapon system, or specifically the radar, which is the big dish on top. You've got an air control officer who is specifically responsible for controlling aircraft. And then you've got the mission commander, who is the one who is responsible for conducting the overall mission of the whichever event that is you're doing that day.
Sure, sure. So obviously to fly these airplanes, you have a tremendous team of very skilled people in the squadron that are supporting that. So how about highlighting a little bit about what your team on the ship as well as your team on deck does?
Well, we've got total in the squadron, we've got about 170 personnel. It's about 140 enlisted maintainers and administrative personnel, and then about 30 aircrew as well. I cannot say enough about what our maintenance department and administrative team does to support the squadron. We've got 4 aircraft. It's a very maintenance-intensive aircraft, and this will probably be my 4th fleet squadron. No question that what is asked of the folks out here in the VAW 115 Liberty Bells and for deployed naval forces in general is they are asked to do more than any squadron I've ever been in. And our team, they are utmost professional. They've got enthusiasm. They are hardworking, and there is no question that when it comes to getting the mission done, I think they're the best I've ever seen.
Outstanding. Yeah, the team that we have in FDNF, I've always been very impressed with, because everybody is so dedicated, so involved with what's going on with the mission, that it's like an unstoppable team. And I've never seen anybody in the States be able to even come to that level of experience, expertise, or just able to get the mission done as a team that's in FDNF. So it sounds like you're hitting on all cylinders, and
Yes, sir.
very proud, obviously, of everything that your team does.
Most certainly.
So what are your goals for the rest of the year, or maybe even for the near future?
For the near future, we are primarily, we've got a deployment that's upcoming, and it is to get out there, and we consider ourselves the leaders of the strike group for the reasons I mentioned before.
Right.
It is to get us through a successful deployment. We are going to be ready to execute any mission that is given, comes our way. And obviously, I think we all know there's a lot of geopolitical excitement going on in the region right now. And
Just a smidge.
yeah, we're going to be ready when given the call to execute any mission we've got. So it's definitely mission readiness from a squadron perspective. And then one of the other aspects that we like to focus on in the Liberty Bells, and I know many other commands feel the same way, it's taking care of the sailors. And so from a personal level of each individual sailor, we talk a lot about advancement, a lot about preparing themselves, and a lot about making sure your time with the VAW 115 Liberty Bells is worthwhile time. And then when you're walking out the door, you're a better person, you've done something, and you've got something to show for it. So that's what we're shooting for.
Outstanding.
That's some great personnel
It is.
policies there. I thought he was going to say that the Liberty Bells focused on liberty. But, it's nice to focus on that professional development, too.
Of course, Master Chief.
Well, this is the place to do it because we have so many days at sea. We've got so many opportunities to gain different qualifications, and then obviously everybody needs to study to make advancement. But this is where you get all that practical knowledge at. This is where you get all the expertise and the skill to take that either to another squadron here in FDNF or take it back to the States and to grow upon that and show up immediately usable as the expert from the theater that does it all.
Most certainly.
Awesome. Was there anything else you'd like to talk about today?
Well, I'd just like to, again, give credit to the sailors we've got working in VAW 115. Recently, late last year, we lost actually one of our aircraft to a electrical fire on the USS Reagan, which really put us behind the 8 ball. It's the equivalent, one aircraft went down, but we've only got 4. So that'd be equivalent of a Hornet squadron losing 4 of their aircraft. We were able to maintain our execute the mission out on deployment, and we've since recently gotten a new aircraft in and gotten her up and ready, and it has taken a lot of both on-duty time and off-duty time from each and every one of our sailors. And the fact that we're in the place we're at and we're ready to go when called upon is a testament to the hard work that they do. And I could not be more proud to be associated with the men and women of the Liberty Bells.
Outstanding.
Sir.
Well, good job to your team for making that all happen and making it happen in a very dynamic environment. So.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, anything else you'd like to talk about today? CMC?
Well, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Because this is one of those things that I know sailors are out there thinking sometimes, they just don't ask. So the dome on top of the aircraft, does it actually rotate when y'all are in the air?
It surely does.
Really?
It spins.
That's awesome.
It is spins, hydraulically actuated. So
Oh, so it's not electrical.
no, there's a lot of electronics that are involved in it.
Right,
But,
right. And then the shape of the dome, does it help provide any lift for the aircraft?
no, it does not. It
All
does
right.
not.
So does it make it a little more difficult to fly when you got that big thing up there on top of it?
It's a little more challenging. I think the turboprops and just kind of the general shape of the aircraft does provide some challenging flight characteristics.
Right.
We think our pilots are the best the fleet's got to offer. It's a hard plane to fly on an aircraft carrier, and our guys do it safely and they do it well each and every time.
Well, I realize that it's been a long time, almost 2 years since I've done a deployment, but if my memory serves correct, you're the first to launch and last to recover?
First to launch, last to leave.
Yeah, so, that's a very important role there.
Well, thank you, Master Chief.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have this week, unless anybody has any alibis. But,
No?
All
No,
right.
sir.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a minute. Thanks for tuning in for the first half.
Some call them derelict, damaged, dilapidated. Where are their owners? Have they lost their keys? Did they move away? Or do they just not care? shunned, pilfered for spare parts, left by the street. This bike rack has become an abandoned graveyard, haunted by ghosts of abandonments past. Imprisoned bikes are all around us, neglected, forgotten, humiliated, and hopeless. But it doesn't have to be this way. The Abandoned Bike Campaign gives these bikes a fighting chance. Stop by the Vehicle Registration Office and register your bikes today.
And we're back. This week we'd like to introduce our Sailor of the Week, who's HM3 Baez from VAW 115. While he's back here ashore, he's working over at the Branch Health Clinic, and when he's underway, he's working in the medical department on board the carrier. He's been here for just shy of a year. He got here in August of 2015, and since then he's definitely set his path on fire. He's taken care of over 1,600 people within the Air Wing. He's also helped establish some expertise with qualifications by establishing study groups for EAWS. So definitely somebody to watch, because he's on the rise with his career. And I want to say thank you very much for his hard work, and I want to congratulate him as being our Sailor of the Week. So let's shift over to our BZs. So CMC, would you like to help me with that today?
Yes, I will certainly get started there. We have this one here, actually, it was directed at my office, but it was just talking about leadership in general. It said, I've worked at Naval Air Facility at Sugi for almost 20 years and have never seen leadership care as much for the foreign national workers. I really appreciate that you took time out of your schedules to speak with me. It says a lot that you really do care for the people, and says that the leadership team here will be missed as this employee was retiring.
Wow. Well, that's a great comment. But you know what? That same comment can go to everybody on the base, because
Yes, sir.
it's extremely important that we maintain our alliance and our partnership with our JMSDF colleagues, but also with our MLCs. We can't do anything on this installation without their help. They're the people that are out there that are making sure that our houses are up to snuff, that everything is safe, that everything is working correctly and fixed. They're the people that are plowing the roads when the snow is high. They do so many things for us. So I appreciate the fact that somebody took their time out of their day to say congratulations and thank you to their leadership team. But I encourage everybody to make sure that you're getting out there and saying thank you to everybody that does a hard job, because there's so many people behind the scenes that make it all go that it's almost impossible to say thank you to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely right, sir.
Okay, our next one is Service Provider Fleet and Family Service Center, and it says here, Nick is the best. He is very helpful and always willing to help a customer. Very friendly and funny. He always helps out in many ways and in any way that he can. Kudos to this guy. So good job to Nick.
And Family Service Center is our next provider as well. It says, I want to say that the Kids Fest was wonderful. All the groups that participated seemed to enjoy the whole experience. Thank you for doing this for the kids.
Outstanding. All right, the next service provider is Halsey Gym. It says, big shout out to Miss Sari and Mr. Henry for being professional and so helpful. So good job to everybody at Halsey Gym.
And then our last Bravo Zulu is for the golf course. It says, thanks for providing a great service and allowing friendly Japanese players to play.
Outstanding. We know something else I'd like to say, BZ, too, with the golf course is to our golf course restaurant
Right.
employees and management team. Today's the 19th as we film this. Today was the first day that we had the golf course restaurant back open again. They had a buffet service, they had a sandwich service, and they also have bento box services. So please get over there and check it out. I checked out the buffet, and the pasta was awesome. Not to mention the fact that I sat out on the veranda and I watched airplanes do what airplanes do, and had a little spirit of naval aviation while I was eating my lunch. So I'm glad to see the golf course back up. If you haven't been over there to check them out, please stop by. I think they'll have something for everybody.
Absolutely. I think we need to temper expectations at this point because the kitchen itself isn't open, just
Correct.
the dining area. So the food is being catered in
Right.
for that service. So you're not going to go in for the specials that were there before.
Right.
But it's a great opportunity to get out and back into the golf course.
True is. The other thing about the buffet that they have is we don't offer that on any other facility on the installation. So
Right.
it is unique food that's being served especially for them, even though it is catered in. I thought it was fantastic, and I appreciate all the hard work done by the employees to get it back on its feet again, to give us another option for lunch.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have this week from Captain's Call, unless you have anything, CMC.
I have nothing further today. I'm sure I'll think of something after we go cut.
Well, that gives us a reason to come back next time.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to say adieu for this week, so thank you very much, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks.